Welcome to the Brutally Honest MMA Show. The hard-hitting, true-talking, most brutally honest show in combat sports. Bringing MMA fans across the world together. We are the voice of the people. Now, introducing your hosts, Aaron Chevalian and superfan, Kieran Harper.
Welcome to the Brutally Honest MMA Show. I'm with Kieran Harper.
How's it going, guys? How are you guys?
Yeah, and I'm Aaron Chevalian. So we're going to kick off the show and talk about Israel Adesanya versus John Jones. They've been having a spat all week, arguing back and forth for the past 7 days since he beat Costa. Are they going to fight? That's the question. Dana's actually come out recently, yesterday, and he said that is the fight to make. But are they going to fight? John's going up to heavyweight. Is he still a middleweight? What do you think, Keith?
Oh, very excited for it, to be honest with you. It'd be great. It's got to happen. It will definitely happen. Dana will make it happen. Daddy Dana will sort it. If they're fighting, though, it's got to be at light heavy. So that's the only sensible one. Bones has come out and said that he's going to have to step up to heavyweight, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he relinquished the title and he's stepping up to heavyweight. But is this going to put a spanner in the works? Is he going to stay at... Because I can't see, if Jones goes up to heavyweight, I can't see him ever coming back down to light heavy. I think he'd struggle, especially with the age factor, cutting weight. Once you put on that weight, that muscle mass, I just can't see him making that weight.
DC never did it, did he? He stayed.
I feel like it's now or never for this fight. It reminds me, you know what it reminds me of? In boxing, Pacquiao versus Mayweather, and how they put the fight off for so long, and they ended up having the fight, but it was not when it should have been, when they were both in the primes, and it just feels like if it's going to happen, it's got to happen in 2021, and if it doesn't, then I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, because that was 2 years too late, wasn't it, with the Pacquiao and the Mayweather?
Yeah.
We can't be waiting 2 years and having back and forth with Izzy and Bones on this. It needs to happen while they're both still relevant and like massively in the limelight, because that's gonna sell out. It'll break pay-per-view records out. Or...
Yeah, it'll be the biggest fight in the sport's history, and I just hope John Jones sees that, because I feel like John Jones is guilty at times of like shooting himself in the foot. Like with the whole DC thing, I feel like there was a bigger fight at heavyweight for him with DC and with Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar was interested in fighting, and he's missing all these opportunities to have these big, massive pay-per-view events that'll probably go down in history. But he keeps shooting himself in the foot. I mean, I know he wants to be the greatest of all time and he wanted to defend his belt, but I feel like sometimes you've got to take those risks, and those big fights and those big opportunities come very, like, they don't come very often. Like, look at the GSP and Anderson Silva situation. That was a fight that fans wanted, everyone was calling for, and it just never materialised. And they both retired. Well, Anderson Silva's retiring and GSP's sort of in and out of the sport. Like, that fight will never happen. And I feel like they've got 12 months to make it happen. If it doesn't happen, it won't be happening.
Yeah, well, like I was just going back to what you were touching on then. It's got to happen soon, because you never know with Bones. He'll probably do something daft and get himself arrested or something. And then, like, you need to grab it now while you've got a chance, don't you?
Take the opportunities. And I know there's some big fights up at heavyweight for Jones, like you've got Ngannou, possibly Stipe. But I feel like that this is the fight to make. This is the one that's going to bring the money. It's what the fans want. The two of the biggest names in the sport right now. Both undefeated in MMA. I know Jones has got the DQ on his record.
But we're
not counting that. But this is the fight. This is the fight the fans want. It's the fight that they both say they want. But if they want it, they can make it happen. And it's time to. I don't know whose side I'm falling on. Is it Jones? Is it Jones or is it Adesanya that's sort of backing away from it, because if they both want fight, they can fight. Dana's come out and said, "I'll make that fight."
Right then, let me put this to you. Regardless of what side you're leaning towards, Adesanya and Bones, they both fight each other in 3 months' time at light heavy. Who wins?
If I'm honest, how it's going right now and how good Adesanya's become, I'm leaning towards Israel Adesanya. The only thing that I'm worried about is the weight factor. If he rushes the fight too soon, if he happened in 3 months, like you said, Jones wins, because Israel Adesanya has got to put the weight on in a good, sensible way. He can't just rush up to light heavy.
Yeah, but what does he walk around? What's his walk around weight? He might cut a bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his natural weight is.
I'm not sure what his walk around weight is. We'd have to pull that up, but I think it's clear as day when you look at both of them. Israel is the skinnier guy. He hasn't got the same muscle mass that Jones has got, and Jones is, at the moment, is in a process of beefing up to get up to heavyweight. So I feel like there's a contrast. I mean, I'm not saying Israel can't pull off some miracle and win it, but if it happened in 3 months' time, I'd be leaning towards Jones for sure, without a doubt. He'd pull the clinch. He'd get in the clinch and he'd lead the way. I know. He could find a way, but if you've got that weight advantage, you go and you're a smart fighter. You go and impose your weight and make the smaller fighter feel that. And I feel like if we're talking 12 months' time, Israel puts on the weight in a good way, puts on like a good muscle mass. I'm leaning towards Israel. I feel like Israel's got the better striking technique, the better punches, the better counter punching. I feel like his ring IQ, his octagon IQ is just so much. I don't feel like anyone's coming close to him right now. And Jones has looks quite rusty in the last few fights. So I feel like Israel's sharp, he's focused, he's mentally prepared, and judging by this week's back and forth, Israel's in Jones's head. Just like it reminds me of when Jones and DC were fighting, and Jones was in DC's head. It's similar to that, and I feel like once you're in someone's head, we know that's game, set, and match almost.
Bones, going back to what you just said, Bones, he has looked rusty in his last few fights, but I don't think he's been motivated. But when he's motivated, like he was motivated with the DC, they hated each other, and he looks awesome. He's always looked great against DC. And I think he'll have that motivation against it. I mean, I'm just dead excited for the fight. It just needs to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'd be the fight to make, the fight the fans want, and I think it would possibly be the fight of the century, like the fight of the century. It would be a classic for the sport. Anyway, moving on. This week we watched Brave CF 43 and our man Mokaev. And what do you think, Key? I've been raving about him quite a bit, and did he impress you?
I love him, Az. Absolutely love him. He's 20 years old. He's 20.
And I know.
Imagine what you were like when you were 20. He's 3-0 as his professional career. And I think, he's an undefeated amateur as well. So he's vastly experienced, and he's getting better every time I've seen it. His striking is amazing. He's ridiculous, especially for a 20-year-old. His jab, everything, he just looks super impressive. And then, so if you're striking with the guy, if you're standing up, you're going to lose. And then, so you think, oh, right, I'm losing the striking. I'll try and take it to the ground. No, don't do that. He'll destroy you on the ground.
Well, the crazy thing is if you saw the first half of that fight, he was striking. His striking's like at a really good level. And his bread and butter is grappling. Like, his bread and butter, it's hard to say. Like, you'd think, oh, he's a striker. Just watching that fight, you'd think he's a striker. But his bread and butter is the grappling. So when he's got striking to that capacity, and I found out earlier this week that he's working with Amir Khan, and that kind of makes sense, because when he was fighting, he was throwing the jab a lot, and I was quite impressed by that because not many MMA fighters use the jab that much. They don't work behind the jab and set
his age,
especially at the age. I mean, the only notable fighter that I can really say that used the jab like to a boxing standard was GSP, and I remember like what fight was it? Was it the Diaz fight where he just sat behind the jab and poked at him and just picked him apart with the jab?
Yeah, that you just make a mess of the Diaz's faces because all the scar tissue, so it just looks more graphic as well, doesn't it? But I was impressed with this, like the spinning back fists and everything like that. He's got everything in his locker, hasn't he?
What I liked is his footwork and his fists, like the body punches, were something else. Like not like it's unusual for, like you say, for a 20-year-old to sort of pick his shots like that, like way behind the jab, and he was putting in some really big heavy hands on the body, and I was really impressed how he just picked his shots, and like you say, then he was throwing in some flash moves, spinning elbows, like spinning heel loop kicks, and he's just he's looking awesome. And the bantamweight division, which is he fights in bantamweight and flyweight, so that's good. It opens a lot of options, and if he does transition to the UFC next year, I mean, we've got a lot of good matchups. We've got Sugar Sean O'Malley. We've got Garbrandt, who's currently injured, which we'll just move on to next. Marlon Moraes, Sterling, and Jan. Like that division's loaded with massive fights for a young fighter, and I just can't wait. I just can't wait.
He's a superstar. He's 100% going to be the champion of the world. 100%. I've got no doubt. He looks very. I mean, I like Did you like the whole Brave concept when I was watching it, and then I thought the lighting and then like the ring announcer dude, he was the right character. He had like a rainbow jacket on, and I thought, I was enjoying it, and he was giving it some as well, introducing the fighters, and then they have the music blaring, because if you just have fighters just walking out and the ring announcer isn't giving it some or anything like that, it's like, yeah, go on and watch fight, but it gets you pumped. And then I just enjoyed. I just thought the whole show was really good.
Yeah,
I mean, there's fighters there who we didn't hear of because they're all like new up and comers, but I purely judged the fighters on what music they come out, who wanted win, just so I could get behind one of them. I mean, one dude come out to Billy Idol, Rebel, yeah, I'm like, I want this dude in, and then he was fighting Kim, and he come out to some like Korean K-pop. Oh my God, like, this is amazing. I'm just cheering on Billy Idol, like, go on Billy, I've got a clue. But no, he gets you into it, and it makes it more interesting. So it's like, when you don't know the fighters, just judge them on the music, what they come out to. That's my advice.
That's my verdict.
That's my verdict on it, yeah. Until you get know.
Like you say, it was a really impressive production. One of the best outside the UFC, one of the best and fastest growing promotions in MMA, and I think they've got good reason to keep growing. Like you say,
really professional. I enjoyed it.
Commentators were brilliant. It reminds me of Sid Waddle, like when he was in the dark, and remind me of that kind of like excitement and passion for the sport, and they were like almost shouting at the fighters. Oh, I love it. Anyway, yeah, quickly mention Cody Garbrandt. He's torn his bicep. He's out of his fight with Figueiredo. What do you think about that? And Alex Perez stepping in.
Yeah, it's a shame. I just feel for Cody. He has rotten luck with injuries. I mean, I love the build up to the fights, what he does. I love watching him fight. There's always fireworks going off when Cody's fighting, and there's someone's getting dropped, either him or the other dude. He always brings excitement. Yeah, we want to see more of Cody, and it's just these. I just hope these injuries don't define him, because he's just turned 29. He's got age on his side, so that's the bonus. So he's having these injuries, yes, but he's got a lot of time on his side. So just get over it, get yourself fit, and then just get back to banging, really, with Cody. But yeah, I mean, Perez has stepped in for the fight, hasn't he? Because on the undercard, it was Perez versus Marino. That was on the undercard of the Cody and Figueiredo fight.
Yeah.
So they moved Perez to the main card, to the main event. Sorry, and I think Marino's fighting. Who's Marino? Oh, Royval.
Royval. Which is, we're quite impressed with Royval.
Well, I've been loving him, since he's coming to the UFC. So that's going to be exciting because I like Marino as well. Remember, he did well on the Ultimate Fighter a few years ago, and he's been doing really well as well. So I think that'll be an exciting fight. It'll be a quick, like they're both explosive. So I think, and the matchmaking there. I think the Royval and the Marino fight. I think pretty much more excited than that. The Perez and Figueiredo one.
Well. The problem is with Cody, it seems like he's following the same footsteps as Dominic Cruz, with like Dominic was injury after injury, and it looks
Dominic had bigger injuries though, as
one ACLs and things like that, and it was just one after another. Hopefully, according to Cody, it's not a big massive injury, and he'll be back in 2021.
Get fit, Cody.
Yeah, get ready, Cody. We're rooting for you. Anyway, moving on to tonight's event, Fight Night, versus. What are your thoughts on it then, Keith?
It's just a crap Fight Night, isn't it? I was looking. I mean, Nunes has sort of ruined it, hasn't she? She just ruined that division. So you got home fighting, and then it's like. It doesn't interest me. That's like the main. I've looked down the card and nothing on that fight card interests me at all. Like Devandami, she's fighting again, isn't she? But again, Nunes beat her not long ago, and it's just. I mean, I'm more excited. I mean, I'm going to watch it because it's UFC, isn't it? So I'm still going to watch it.
So, sometimes these fight nights do surprise you, and you get some good fights. I mean. Carlos Condit, he's fighting on the prelims. I mean, he hasn't been himself in the last probably like 10 fights, but you've got always hope that he's going to bring that violence of his earlier self, when he used to be a violent man in the sport.
This is why he's on prelims on a shit fight card. So it's like I just look at it. It doesn't. I mean, I'm more interested. Then you got Bellator on tonight, and James Gallagher's fighting. Yeah. I'm way more interested to watch James Gallagher tonight than watch any of the UFC.
I've been watching the build up for that one, and he's a promising fighter that one day we might see in the UFC.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if McGregor's there actually, because he's normally in his corner, isn't he?
Yeah, he attends the fights, but I don't know what the restrictions are.
I don't know with everything what's going on. I'm not too sure myself, but that'll be interesting because he should have fought that Eleanor dude. I think it's 3 times previous they should have fought, but something's happened every time. So this is I think it's like the 4th time of asking. So it should be good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good weekend of fights anyway. At least I know Fight Night's got some potential fights there. And then we've got Bellator. So it's been a good week for MMA in the last 7 days. We've had Izzy and Costa. We've had Brave CF 43. Now we've got Fight Night and Bellator. We've had a good week. We can't complain too much, can we, Keith?
No, we've been spoilt, and this one I'm a bit annoyed with the shit fight card on the Fight Night. But hey, who am I to say? I guess.
In only a few weeks, we've got UFC 255, and it's going to be massive. Khabib versus Gaethje. So we can't complain too much. It's a good.
The next Fight Night is I think is the next one Korean Zombie and T-City.
Possibly.
I know we'll take, and so we'll have a nat about that because we're both T-City fans.
I'm a Zombie fan as well. Like it's an odd. That's an odd one to choose because I love both fighters. Like they both like I'm a fan of both. And I can't.
Look what's happening now. We're talking about the next Fight Night. That's how uninterested I am into this one that's coming up. Hey, let's hope I'm wrong and it's a banger. It could be good.
Yeah, I mean, we will be watching. We'll be watching.
Yeah, of course we'll be watching.
And with that, shall we leave it there, Keith?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, nice speaking to you. Everyone, keep following, like everything, subscribe. We enjoy having you. Over to you, Keith.
Cheers, guys. See you soon. Listen to the next one. We'll be talking again tomorrow, will we, Az?
Yeah, we'll give a recap on Fight Night and what went on with Bellator and see if there's any more John Jones and Israel Adesanya beef.
Cheers, guys.
Stay safe.